Hey, what is poppin', y'all? It's your boy Fizz, and I am bringing you guys the OLT Week 4 team build. You're going up against Mustang and the Brooklyn Brelooms. Now, Mustang is filling in as a replacement for the rest of the season for Lomame, who dropped, of course. No surprises there, but yeah, he's filling in for this week, and Mustang's a pretty good battler. He's in mid-gear in IPA, so he's a pretty good battler from what I've seen. I didn't really get a chance to see how he plays, but I've heard that he's good, so yeah, looking forward to this matchup. Either way, he's like a really good pal of mine. I've known him for a while now, and yeah, he's just a good dude in general. So hopefully I can come out with a W here against Mustang. So yeah, really excited for this battle, and hopefully we can get a really good dub, just like last week's against Commonly. That would be really epic, you know. Wow, I haven't used the word epic unironically in so long, but yeah, man, that's enough about that. I'm just gonna jump right into Mustang's team. He has a Mega Pinsir, Zero Aura, Superior, Primarina, Latias, Registeel, Excadrill, Gigalith, Pangoro, and the Stoutland. So, obviously has a Sand Core around the Excadrill, Gigalith, and the Stoutland, which can definitely be scary in Sand. And he has really huge offensive threats like Latias, Surb, Zero Aura, Pinsir are all very difficult to deal with, and dealing with that in conjunction with the Sand is just going to be a pain in the ass to deal with. So, I really need to play carefully with my sacks in order to win the game, just because I need to outplay his offense and like play around it, stuff like that. So yeah, pretty scary team I'm playing. I don't really have checks to everything on his team. Like Zero Aura, I always call it bad, but it's honestly terrifying against my team. It can knock off my Dome Eyes, it can grass knot my Seismitoad and my Mamoswine, so it's just very scary with his coverage options there. So yeah, it's always difficult to play around that. So, and I can't let it set up with a Calm Mind or Bulk Up as well. So yeah, pretty threatening team, and I'm just going to jump right into what I'm going to be bringing against him. So first off, I have the Laxus with a Titanium Z, Focus Blast, T-Bolt, Dark Pulse, and Nasty Plot. This is probably like just the best set in general on Thundy, like Nasty Plot, 3 attacks, Dual Hands, 2 attacks, with the Z, Life Orb, stuff like that. Like, it's honestly incredible. Thundy is like super broken, man. But yeah, right here is really good for Mega Pinsir. I obviously resist a quick attack because of Aerialate, etc. So keeping this alive and keeping it outside of rocks is going to be big for me. And I can T-Bolt that thing to Oblivion. And one good thing is that I can just Nasty Plot and kill something. His checks are most likely going to be like, I don't know, probably Superior or something. But at a +2, Z Focus Blast is going to be doing hella damage to like everything on his team. And he can switch into Latias, I suppose, but that gets Dark Pulse, Primarina gets T-Bolted, Pinsir gets T-Bolted, stuff like that. So, in general, it just breaks really well for the rest of my team, which is really nice. It gives me that natural breaker that I needed on my team. So, really good Pokemon here in this matchup, and yeah, hopefully it can get another 6 kills here, potentially. Next up, I have my Meloetta Pirouette with the Life Orb, and it's going to be 4 attacks with Adamant, U-turn, return. Both turns, close combat and the quick attack. Quick attack is pretty clutch, so I can like quick attack the Pinsir if it's low enough after rocks and a little bit of chip. I can potentially pick something off with the quick attack. Same thing with Scarfers. His team is relatively slow against mine, so I can pick off potential Scarfers and be safe around them. And it does do really sizable damage since it is Stab plus Adamant plus Life Orb. So it's going to be doing pretty good damage, plus I didn't really need anything else. U-turn is going to be really sick, just so I can pivot around, get some nice chip on everything, and I can come back in and kill it later with the chip that I put off of it with U-turn. And Dual Stab rips apart his team completely. Outside of Sand, nothing outspeeds this thing, which is going to be incredible. So yeah, Adamant Meloetta is going to be so clutch here in this matchup, so that's going to be really good for me. And yeah, just Meloetta is broken as shit. Also, Zero Aura outspeeds me, so never mind about that. And obviously quick attack from Mega Pinsir and Excadrill and Sand. So yeah, either way, this is like a phenomenal breaker or a cleaner late game. If I can get rid of like his Sand, like Gigalith or the Zero Aura, I can really literally sweep with Meloetta, even though it's not like set up at all. You can just easily sweep the game on its own, which is incredible. It's phenomenal cleaner in this matchup, so hopefully it can do well. That in conjunction with Thundy looks to be an amazing offensive pair in this matchup. Next up, I have Aogairu with the Rindo Berry, Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Toxic, and the Toxic. I said Toxic twice, Knockoff and the Toxic, so I'm max Bedef just so I'm able to take a couple Moonblast or whatever from the Primarina. I can take a couple hits there, and I have Rindo Berry to scout, or to kind of be able to take one Energy Ball from Primarina and like a Grass Knot from Zero Aura and kill it with an Earthquake. and I can put a lot of chip into the Primarina. I can knock its specs off potentially, because specs Primarina looks like terrifying against my team, so really need to be prepared about that, toxic that thing, or knock off that thing, so it can be less of a threat. And I can also toxic if I want. This is going to be my rock setter. I can reliably pretty much lead this thing every single time. Unless I see a superior, I can play around that on lead. So yeah, this is going to be a phenomenal stealth rocker. I really need rock sub to be able to whittle down that pincer as best as possible, because that thing is such an offensive threat that needs to be neutralized by the stealth rocks. So Satin Toad is going to be good here, and yeah, it's going to be putting in a lot of work getting up rocks and etc. Next up, I have my sand check with the very FizzDef Domice here with EQ, Power Whip, Shadow Claw, and Synthesis. Wow. I know Synthesis is nerfed in the sand, but outside of sand, like, this is able to check most Zero auras. Like, I could take a knockoff, Synthesis up, etc. So outside of sand, it has its uses. Earthquake, Power Whip, Shadow Claw, just in general, hits the most things on its team. So, like, I didn't really need, like, what's it called, Steel Stab against his team, because Primarina obviously, like, gets bodied by a Power Whip, etc. So yeah, I felt like 3 attack Synthesis was the best play here. A little bit of attack so I can damage things a little harder, and so I'm able to, you know, like, kill things better. And I'm able to 2-shot the Excadrill with this Domice set, and he can't really do anything to break through my Domice. Like, the best thing you can do is like Z, like +2 Z Iron Head, but I definitely live that very easily. Hit it super hard with an Earthquake, potentially put it in range of like a quick attack from, you know, my Meloetta or something. So this is going to be a really good wall for his sand and something like a Zero Aura. So I really need to preserve this thing's health, since it's going to be pressured a decent amount in this matchup. So definitely need to be worried about its health. Next up, I have my Klefki. So he has a lot of damage output. Again, like I said before, he has like a lot of offense, so dual screens really helps negate that. And I have Player Off just to hit the best things on his team. Hits a Latias, or 2 shots Latias actually without investment. And I have Defog on there just in case he wants to set up rocks, which are not very good against my team. I don't want Thundy taking rocks. I can defog that away. And I have the Eye Pop-Up Barrier there for recovery. Didn't really need Light Clay. I felt like just dual screens was just good to have without the Light Clay. So, and I felt like longevity with the Klefki was probably more important than like extra turns of like screens. So that's why I prioritize that. And I have max defense on there. Probably could have gone like max Bidef or something for Serp, but you know, I don't really care. It's just a fat Klefki. I have it for screens and that's it really. So yeah, I don't really need to worry about Klefki in this matchup. It's just going to do with Klefki things. Next up, I have another really good breaker here in this matchup with Thick Fat, Life Orb, Ice Shard, EQ, Icicle Crash, and the Knockoff. I only needed the first 3 moves. Knockoff is just kind of there. I can potentially knock off like certain items like a Shucko Berry potentially on the switch-in, which is going to be pretty clutch. I'm adamant as well, so like I can kill things like Superior with enough chip. Same thing with like Pinsir. I can force it to quick attack instead of return, since he has to be afraid of my Ice Shard, which is going to be hitting incredibly hard against his team. So yeah, Mammo is a phenomenal breaker in conjunction with the Thundy and the Meloetta, and this can also serve as a late game win con, because Ice Shard sweeps are pretty possible against his team. Also prevents things like Calm Mind Latias from like putting in work as well. So yeah, Mammo's pretty good here in this matchup, and obviously like it's dual Sabrif's a part of his team completely. So yeah, I really like my team. I feel like just a lot of offense and really solid defensive options. So I just need to get up rocks, play around his team as best as I can. So yeah, that's going to be my team builder, and I'm just going to get connected with Mustang and see how I do. And we are here with the battle against Mustang. Good luck, have fun, of course. Really looking forward to this battle. Hopefully we can go 3-1, and that sounds like a lot better than like 2-2. So if I win this game, well, I'm going to be in like playoff contention right off the start of the season. So definitely want to be able to do that for sure. And hopefully I have luck here. And yeah, he decides to bring a team consisting of the Superior Gigalith, Excadrill, Zero Aura, Latias, and the Primarina. So no Mega Pinsir is pretty incredible for me. I didn't really want to face Mega Pinsir in this matchup, and instead he decides to bring, I don't know, like Primarina or something. Well, Primarina is going to come. It like bodies my team. Latias, I didn't really feel like it had the best matchup, but I mean, it came. So what can I do about it? But yeah, right here I'm probably going to predict him to lead with the Superior, and I'm going to lead with my Meloetta, get a free U-turn or damage off on anything. As he decides to lead off with the Gigalith, probably set up rocks, and right here I'm just going to close combat, and I kill it. So Meloetta is broken. Didn't really expect that to kill, but it definitely did because I'm adamant. Makes sense. Meloetta is busted. Nice and balanced, you know? So he decides to set up with Work Up, no Bulk Up, which is so good for me. Right here I was worried about like a Z Fire Z move I could play around it with like Silent Toad or something. But he decides to go for the Electric Z, which is really interesting. And I'm so glad that I live it because this means that he's in range of rocks or a quick attack. So I go for the Shadow Claw here because it's my best usual play. And I force him to Roost right here if he wants to be able to do more things in the matchup. So I feel like he's either going to switch out or go for the Roost, which is exactly what happens. He's going to go for the Ice Shard here into the Primarina. And that I knew that was an obvious switch. I could have stayed in an Earthquake, but I really feared the Scarf. And right here he goes for the Moonblast. That does not reveal to be Specs damage, so I'm just going to knock off whatever it has. Don't really want this to be like a barrier or anything like that. So I'm just going to knock it off, make the safe play, and I'm just going to go for my rocks here to be able to get rid of the Zero Aura. And at this point, Meloetta goes in. I go for the return, and that thing dies. So right here I'm kind of expecting like a Scarf Superior, but he decides to go into Latias, which definitely dies to the return, so pretty surprising. And this kind of tells me that he doesn't really have a Scarf Superior. So yeah, I'm just going to go for the close combat and kill that, and looks like this is going to be the game once again. He sends out the Zero and it dies to rocks, and he goes for the Excadrill, and that thing is gone to no avail. So yeah, that's going to be another anticlimactic battle in the OLT. So honestly, really surprised how well I'm doing in this league. I think Meloetta and Thundy is just a busted core. It's so hard to prep for both of them. You can't even prep for Meloetta in the first place, so really interesting that I'm doing pretty well in this league. But I guess it makes sense, like Meloetta Thundy is broken. But yeah, I've never had this many wheelchairs in my life. So I'm relishing in the one right now. We are moving to 3-1 plus 9, and we are second, or tied for second in the league with JJ, and of course Dave is in first because people let him have plus 12 differential as 3-1. So I don't know how that happened, but you know what, we're gonna try to get that first seed. Hopefully, get that spot, the regular season champion. So yeah, man, that's gonna be the game for us. And yeah, GG to Mustang. I didn't really feel like there was anything you could do. Your draft didn't really have like Meloetta checks in the first place. So this kind of like added salt to the wound, being able to be getting 5 kills with Meloetta. So that's pretty sick. And yeah, Renko's broken as shit. But yeah, next week we're going to be playing against JJ, another good pal of mine. And I beat him once before. It was like a random tour that didn't really mean anything. So hopefully I can beat him in OLT. That's going to be pretty cute. And he's actually tied with me in second. So really want to beat him in this game. So yeah, man, that's going to be it for me. And I want to say thank you guys so much for watching. It means the world to me. And like always, have a swell day. Peace.